Welcome to Trimming the Musical Fat, the podcast where we trim albums that are too damn long. I'm Stephen Nicholson, and thank you for joining me, my guests Bryan Borthwick, Paul Young and Jamie Kerr, as we pick the songs that will make up Side B of our Oasis compilation, the Masterplan II. Now, in last week's show, we gave our thoughts on the Oasis reunion and picked the tracks that make up Side A. So those tracks are My Generation, Pass Me Down the Wine, Eyeball Tickler, As Long as I've Got Cigarettes in Hell, Just Getting Older, and Lord, Don't Slow Me Down.
Hello listeners, this is David from In the Lap of the Pods Queen podcast, and you are listening to another episode of Trimming the Musical Fat. Slanjava.
So it's time to start picking the songs for Side B, and a reminder of the rules: our compilation runtime must not exceed 50 minutes. We can only select non-album tracks from 1999 to 2009, and at least 3 of us must have voted for a track for it to be included, and the Oasis Mania Fans Club on Facebook got to pick 3 of the 5 songs, and when there was a split decision by us, i.e. only 2 of us voted for a track. So the first track on Side B is one that Jamie, myself and Bryan picked, and it is Let's All Make Believe.
For anyone here to try to do just what it takes to get through to you. So let's all make believe that we're still friends and we like each other. Let's all make believe in the end we're gonna need each other. Strangle my heart.
So Let's All Make Believe was a B-side to Go Let It Out, and Q Magazine said in January 2006 that if Standing on the Shoulder of Giants had contained this track, it would probably have got another star. That's how highly they rated it. Do you rate it highly, Jamie?
Yeah, I think it's a great song. Obviously, really nice with the piano, lovely melody. I think Liam's vocals top notch again. I would say, I think there's a little bit of an effect on his vocal, which I don't think is really necessary, to be honest. I think the song would be just as good, if not better, without that. Yeah, that side is good, and it obviously picks up towards the end, gets a bit messy, which is good.
It's a great song. I really like it. That's why actually I put on my notes. Actually, it could have easily been on an album. I didn't know what one it would have been, but yeah, it's definitely an album track. Actually, it reminds me of a James Bond theme tune. The start of it. That could easily be a James Bond theme.
Good shout.
But no, it's a brilliant song. And again, it's one that up until a few months ago when we started this, I'd never really listened to before. And now it's one of the top songs on my playlist, my Spotify.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, this is one I remember from back in the day, from buying the Go Let It Out single, and I've always really liked it. But yeah, one of those ones I hadn't played in years until we were doing this. But yeah, very dramatic, great Liam vocal. It should have been on Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, no getting away from it. And I think the lyrics are worthy of analysis as well. Is it talking about the band splitting up or a marriage split? I think the line is, let's all make believe that we're still friends and we like each other. So read into that what you will. So it gets on, as does the next track here, second track on Side B, one that Paul, Bryan and myself selected, and it is Thank You for the Good Times. So Thank You for the Good Times was a B-side to Stop Crying Your Heart Out, and it was written by former Ride guitarist Andy Bell. And Thank You for the Good Times paid tribute to, no jokes here guys, but it pays tribute to the Fannies. True story.
Nice.
by ripping off the music for their 1991 track, The Concept, Lock, Stock and Barrel. And there you go. You never thought we'd be talking about the Fannies tonight, did you?
It's a good enough song. I think it's good for a B-side, good B-side song. It's no album quality, I wouldn't say. It's a bit a bit meh. It's one of the ones I'd listen to, and I don't play it all the time. But it's decent enough.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. I think this was the one where you were kind of trying to fill the time in and sort of squeeze, like, one track here and there. It's all right, it's better than some of the others, certainly, but I wouldn't have said it's their best work, that's for sure.
It's kind of got that classic Oasis sound on it, although it's kind of a weary classic Oasis sound. It's a good tune, and I would have actually probably have had it on Heath and Chemistry ahead of something like Little by Little, where I'm not really a big fan of that particular track. Yep, it gets on. Second track on side B. The third track is one that Paul, Jamie, and I picked. So Brian, you're stuffed for this one, and it's "Won't Let You Down."
No, I won't let you down. Hate to say you're surrounded by clowns. Looks to me, they've had their day. Think it's time that you came out and played. What you say? It's time that you came out and played. Won't you stay? It's time that you came out and played. Let's get out of our mind.
So "Won't Let You Down" was one of the B-sides to Lila, written by Liam, and for me, I'll kick us off on this one. It's Liam trying to be John Lennon, isn't it? It's really a complete pastiche, but an enjoyable enough one for me. What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as a tune, it's probably one of my favourite ones just because it's pretty easy to listen to, but it's definitely got that sort of mid-60s Beatles influence. Help on an album like that, you could just see it being on there. Nonetheless, I think it was really good. I think it was one that was kind of produced by Get Archer as well. Nice, they collaborated obviously on a few things. So yeah, a really good song. One of my favourite ones, I think, that we've kind of discussed tonight.
Yeah, I was definitely hearing the Beatle vibes in it as well. John Lennon, soft, and Liam's vocal, especially with the kind of slowed down songs, kind of turns a wee bit John Lennon, doesn't it? But yeah, it's a good song. I like it. Another one that I kind of listened to more recently, having forgotten about it initially. But yeah, it's just a good sound. It's obviously quite slow paced, but when you've got Liam's kind of growled over it and stuff, it seems to work really well. So yeah, it's a good choice, I think.
Well, thank you. Which leads us to our next track, which is kind of another slow-paced type one, and it's "Idler's Dream."
And as I close my eyes and the sky turns red, I realize just what you are. You're an idler's dream and you're singing Shangri-La. 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 Shangri-La.
So that was "Idler's Dream." That was picked by Jamie and myself, and also the Oasis Manias fan club on Facebook there. And a couple of facts in relation to it. So this was one of the B-sides to Hindu Times, and Noel Gallagher has mentioned in interviews that he believes "Idler's Dream" is one of Oasis's most underrated songs. Jamie, do you agree?
I don't know if it's the most underrated. It is probably underrated. Whether or not it's the most underrated, we're up for debate. But it is a really good song. I really like the piano, which again is a theme right through Even Chemistry in that era. They were obviously trying to find a new sound, and the piano just kind of lifts it a bit. And then I always like the word Shangri-La, and I really like the Kinks. And so, because I hadn't listened to Idler's Dream in a while, and I was kind of forgetting about that little linkage there, so it took me straight back to listening to the Kinks again, which was a nice, pleasant surprise. So yeah, good tune.
Yeah, I remember this actually. I always remember it sticking out to me from when I bought the Hindu Times CD single, and I've always been a big fan of this song. Yeah, it's one of those ones. I don't know if it just maybe doesn't fit in with the overall sound of the Heath and Chemistry album, which is why it maybe never got on. Because for me, it's definitely worthy of being on there. It's really a very unique song for the band. It's pretty much just no singing with a piano accompaniment, and I don't think there's any other Oasis song where that happens. So yeah, very tender. Big fan of it. Should have been on Heath and Chemistry for me. So the next track, or penultimate one, is one that Paul and Jamie and the Oasis Facebook group went with, and it's the Gibb mix of Falling Down. And here it is.
The summer sun that blows my mind is falling down on all that I've ever known. Time will kiss the world goodbye. Falling down on all that I've ever known is all that I've ever known.
Okay, so that was the Falling Down, the Gibb mix, and this was taken from the Falling Down CD single, and that single was actually the final single released by the band before they split up in 2009. So, Paul, we'll come to you. What did you like about this in particular?
I remember listening to this song on Soccer AM back in the day, and they did a montage of goals and stuff, and I could hear this tune in the background, and I'm like, what's that? That's really familiar. And then right at the end it tells you what it is, and it's like, wow, that's an Oasis. Like that's that song. So that obviously was a B-side for the single, and I think maybe controversial, but I prefer this Gibb remix to the actual original song that's on the album. I don't know, it's just a classic Oasis song with no obviously singing, but just that kind of that skip beat, that fast sort of feel to it as well. So I've always been a big fan of this song, and think, as I say, I would have thought that version could have easily have replaced the one that ended up on the album.
Yeah, and you're saying you first heard it on Soccer AM. Was that when Soccer AM was good?
Yes, that's when it was worth watching.
That was when it was still worth watching, yeah.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think like Falling Down is probably one of my more favourite songs of the later catalogue, but I do like this remix. I think it's different enough from the original to make it kind of a song in of itself. Obviously with the original, the drums are kind of kicking things off, but with this one it's, I think, a bit more of the bass before the riff kicks in, and just kind of lifts the whole song. It really complemented by Noel's vocals as well. So yeah, if this had made the album as opposed to the original, I definitely one that would be any complaints.
Awesome, thank you. So, this is now our final track getting on the Masterplan II, and it's a song that was picked by, again, the Oasis Facebook group, and Paul and myself, and it is Carry Us All.
They got me running in and out of time. I feel like a bona fide keeper of a right and wrong. And I've known all along, but let me just make it clear. Everybody's gone for a quick, surefire solution, but faith in any God is gonna bury us all. No one's gonna fight in a 10-bomb revolution. Have faith in what you got, and it will carry us all.
So that was Carry Us All, and that was on the Sunday Morning Call CD single, and it's a song which shows Noel's disdain for organised religion, apparently. So, Paul, I'll come to you for this one. Why did it make the grade for you?
Yeah, again, it's just one of these sort of Oasis like the B-sides where it's a kind of slow-paced song and it's quite easy to listen to. Probably say this was once again one of the songs that were just sort of looking at your selection, your choices. I don't think it's the best one. It's a good song. It's not a great song. So it was for those reasons that it kind of sneaked its way in the back door, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you on it. I think it's got a good chorus. It would have been much better if Liam sang it. Absolutely no
Yeah,
doubt
I
about
agree.
it. And I think the production's a little bit uninspired. It just feels like not much efforts went into it.
I don't mind it. It's quite lyrically strong. Some nice words in there, and the pre-chorus into the chorus gives it a nice wee pick-up. It's probably not my favourite song. I remember hearing it the first time, actually, I think it was Sunday Morning Call, the single. which to me is a great song. So kind of coming down from that as a B-side, it was okay. Typical Alan White drums throughout it. Like you say, the production, maybe I don't know when they recorded it specifically, get the sense it maybe got a little bit lazy by that point. So yeah, it's got all the typical kind of standing on the shoulder of beats, but yeah, it's fine for me.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, guys, that is 6 songs picked for side 2, which runs to 24 minutes. So in total, we have 12 tracks, and the supercut comes in at 45 minutes. So mission accomplished.
This is Eric Paul Johnson from Face the Music, an Electric Light Orchestra song-by-song podcast. And you're listening to Trimming the Musical Fat. Oh dear. That wasn't my fat I trimmed.
Let's now move on to reveal the songs that did not make the grade. So these are all tracks which got either 1 vote or maybe got 2, but the Oasis Facebook group did not go for it. So we've got Full On, Sitting Here in Silence, Helter Skelter, One Way Road, Shout It Out Loud, The Quiet Ones, Those Swollen Hand Blues. You've got The Heart of a Star, and Who Put the Weight of the World on Your Shoulders. So any of them, you're kind of gutted they don't make the grade.
Maybe the last one, there might have been a little bit of that. For me, I can't remember if I picked it on. It's been that long ago since I did it. When you say that list, I'm not overly familiar with it. And I think Jamie sort of nailed it when he said that I think a lot of me feel that there wasn't as much effort going into it at times. You know, there were just kind of B-side fillers more than anything else. But yeah, certainly that last one, The Weight of the World on Your Shoulder, I think that is in my shout. To shame that didn't make.
That's the one for me. I love that song. I would have had that on there in a heartbeat. Yep. Bryan and Jamie,
Full On. I like that. That's a good song. It sounds a wee bit like Shock of the Lightning. It's got that sort of piano-y with the guitar. I like that. That was on my list, so a bit gutted about that.
Jamie, any that you're sorry to see go?
Sitting Here in Silence, I really like. A nice wee tune. And Heart of a Star's nice song as well. So, yeah, no complaints, so they're not included.
Okay.
Hey everyone out there in the podcasting world, this is Widescreen Podcast. This is Sam Wiles. You are listening to another episode of the Trimming the Musical Fat podcast.
Well, let's reveal the 12 tracks that make up the TTMF Masterplan II. So we've got My Generation, Pass Me Down the Wine, Eyeball Tickler, As Long as I've Got Cigarettes in Hell, Just Getting Older, Lord Don't Slow Me Down, Let's All Make Believe, Thank You for the Good Times, Won't Let You Down, Idler's Dream, Falling Down the Gib Mix, and Carry Us All. So gentlemen, those are the 12 tracks that go on. If, remember, Q Magazine and their 5-star ratings, you're working for Q, we've brought it back. What would you rate this album if it dropped on your desk and you had to review it?
I mean, it's an Oasis album, so I'm instantly biased. I'm going to go 6.5. Is that allowed?
Out of 5, that's impressive.
Out of 5, I thought you meant out of 10. Well, that's how much
a great
I like
album.
Oasis. We'll go out of 5.
It's an absolute classic, isn't it?
Top of the charts, right out of 5, 3.5.
Brilliant, thanks Jamie. Bryan, what about you?
I would go 3 out of 5. I think there's a lot of good songs on it, but a lot of pretty poor songs on it as well, I think. So, yeah, a middle of the road 3.
Okay, thank you, Bryan. Paul?
Yeah, I'll go 3 as well. I think, like you say, there's some good songs on there, not great, and maybe 2 or 3 questionable. So I think 3's fair.
Okay, I'd maybe go 3.5, 5 there.
Like Trimming the Musical Fat, why not check out our other podcast, Trimming the Movie Fat?
So, time to pass me down the wine. Thanks to Bryan, Jamie and Paul for joining me, and the good news is the guys will be back again very shortly to join me for another few shows where we look at the worst of Oasis in the noughties, so keep a beady eye out for that. So thanks to you for listening, and come back next week for another episode of Trimming Musical Fat. Until then, keep trimming.
Trimming the Musical Fat podcast is a Stephen and Paul Nicholson production. We'd love to hear from you. You'll find our contact details in the episode description. Want more TTMF? Head to our socials, join our Facebook group, follow us on TikTok, subscribe to us on YouTube, and check out our website at trimmingthemusicalfat.com.